strategist, the former special assistant to President Bush, Ron Christie. Guys, thanks very much for coming in. I got to get your reaction, James, to a story that appeared at Politico today, a story entitled Rush Job Inside Dems Limbaugh Plan. Among other things, they say this. By February, Carville and Begala were pounding on Limbaugh frequently in their appearances on CNN. Neither Democrat would say so, but a third source said the two also began pushing the idea of targeting Rush Limbaugh in their daily phone conversations with Rahm Emanuel, the White House chief of staff. Is this all a conspiracy, James? You, Paul Begala, Rahm Emanuel, to create this whole Rush Limbaugh situation?
Well, I think that honestly, I don't want to take credit away from the great Rush Limbaugh, who did it on January the 16th when he said he wanted the president's policies to fail, and that's what started the whole thing. So I don't give Paul and I or Rahm credit where it's really due to the great Rush Limbaugh. He's the one that really started all this. So my hat's off to you, Rush.
Because they're also saying that way back during the campaign in October, you among others were putting Rush Limbaugh in polling questions to try to test if this would be a good strategy to pit the Democrats against him, if you will.
Well, we've been putting Democracy Corps, I'm one of the founders, along with Stan Greenberg. We've been putting Rush Limbaugh in our polls for a long time, and he's been unpopular in every one. In fact, we're in the field right now with a poll with Rush Limbaugh in it, and we'll be releasing those results. I don't know what they are. Maybe he's gotten more popular, but we'll find out. You know, I don't know if it's a plot, a conspiracy, or what, but we poll all the time, and none of this would have happened without Rush being the one that started it all by saying that he wanted the president's policies to fail.
And he took it a step further today, Ron. I'll play a little clip of what he said on his radio show. Listen to this, a challenge to the president.
But I have an idea. If these guys are so impressed with themselves, and if they are so sure of their correctness, why doesn't President Obama come on my show? I am offering President Obama to come on this program without staffers, without a teleprompter, without note cards, to debate me on the issues.
I suspect he's not going to accept that challenge, but what do you think, Ron?
Well, I suspect you're right, Wolf, but I think the Democrats have walked into a landmine with this. I think that they thought, oh, it polls well to talk bad against Rush Limbaugh. Let's say that Rush Limbaugh is the head of the Republican Party. Well, now Rush has played their card and played their game and said, okay, President Obama, if you're going to look at me as a leader and you think that I'm running the party, why don't we have a substantive discussion about the issues? And now you find the White House press secretary, Robert Gibbs, saying, oh, Rush Limbaugh, this and that. Well, these are very serious times, and the Democrats control the White House and the Congress. I think that they would be well advised to talk less about Rush Limbaugh and talk more about the issues that confront America, particularly our bad economy right now.
You know, James, I'll play a little clip of what the White House press secretary, Robert Gibbs, said yesterday on this very point that Ron just made. Listen to this.
I was a little surprised at the speed in which Mr. Steele, the head of the RNC, apologized to the head of the Republican Party.
Referring to Michael Steele, the chairman of the Republican Party, who had to apologize to Rush Limbaugh for some comments he made right here on CNN.
Yeah, he apologized, as did Phil Gingrich. Look, we didn't make Rush the head of the Republican Party. It's the Republicans have. If you look at that C-PAC or C-SPAN or whatever that thing is they had, Rush was the leader of that deal. They were groveling all over him. We didn't. The chairman of the RNC, the man like made a fool of himself, saying, "Gee, when I looked at the videotape, I really didn't realize what I was saying. I'm so sorry, Rush." And all that Mr. Gibbs is doing is pointing out a fact that Rush is the leader of the opposition party. That's what Paul and I are doing, and that's what Ron was doing.
Is that a fact, Ron?
I don't see anything wrong with that.
No, of course it's not a fact, Wolf. He is a conservative voice. He's a conservative leader. Michael Steele was the elected chairman of the RNC. Let's talk about elected leaders who are heads of the Republican Party or in positions of influence, not radio show talk show hosts who are very conservative and very powerful, but he's not an elected politician. He's not a political leader.
Again, if you would have looked at that C-SPAN, no, I'm sorry,
CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference.
Right. If you looked at that, and that's the heart of conservatism. Let me tell you, that's Ann Coulter. That's Rush Limbaugh. That's the very essence of American conservatism there. They don't care about Michael Steele. They care about Rush Limbaugh. And you